Hello everyone, MikeMoneyGMR here, and welcome back to more Let's Play Quest 64. Now, as I said, I was going to show this off the second we did some fights, and sure enough, as you see, that little crystal in the middle has started to fill up. That's your only way to tell how fast you are leveling up. Now, something else I want to go over real quick. We now have Wind Cutter level 2, now that we've reached level 4. You want to use that every single time now. At least that's what I recommend you do, is you use that every time you're in fights to start getting your magic up. Because right now our magic is 15. We want to get it to at least 30 as fast as possible. And sadly, the only way to do that is to get into a fuckload of fights. Well, sadly, this attack's not going to hurt these guys very much, because they're strong against wind. Haha! In fact, what they're weak against is this. Damn it. Now there's two ways to avoid this attack. One is running in a circle. One is moving just a little bit one direction or the other. Now thankfully rock does tend to home in on an enemy. So don't be worried if you think that you're about to miss. It will home in just a little bit. Oh, wow, already leveled up again. I think I'm going to do water this time. Now here's something you should know. Every time you hit an enemy, I believe you get magic back. I don't know if you get health back, but I think you get magic back. This guy, normally I would recommend you escape from him, because he uses a water pillar attack on you that does pretty good amount of damage. And he has an ass ton of health. So, yeah. And since he's water-based, I don't think Earth does very much damage to him, so you can't use that to your advantage. I think Wind is the only attack. Oh, he got me. That does good enough damage. There we go. Whew. That went better than I expected it to. I forget what these guys... Oh yeah, I just said what these guys are weak against water. But if you can't get up to them, use wind. Oh, that's an unfortunate thing. There we go. So now we do 12 damage with that. Not always, but a good portion of the time. Yep, it's magic that you get healed back up. Could have sworn I just saw something like shiny over here. Guess not, but I know that there's one somewhere out here. Oh, what the hell do you want? To devour my face, probably. Now this is an unfortunate thing. You cannot get the camera to fix doing this. So don't be worried about that. Now, how magic cost works is I think level 2 costs 2, yeah. Level 1, of course, costs 1. And level 3, when we get it, costs 3. Hello. Thank you. Now it's up here somewhere. There it is. Haha. There we go. Now we need to do Earth after that. Now this isn't my call. This is the call of everyone who's played the game, because they say that the end boss of this game is like, I'll just tell you, fuck hard if you don't have the spell that happens when you get, I think it's level 10 Earth or something like that. I don't remember, but they said that you have to at least get Earth to 10, 15, 20, something like that. I don't remember. I just know that it was like a high number. A ridiculously stupid number, but high all the same. Now, I will say this. Sometimes you don't even have to move whenever the wind attack gets to you and you won't get hit. But it's a rare occasion. So don't take my word for that. Oh, fire does pretty good against him too. This is a place you want to go to. So there's another spirit thing in here. Earth. Travelers don't show up here very often. It seems that it isn't safe anywhere on the roads these days. I see a future for you fraught with danger and challenges that no ordinary human could meet. It isn't clear, but your destiny awaits you at the end of the longest road. You won't be going to that road anytime soon. I seem to remember something in this house, but I think I'm wrong. Yep, I'm wrong. Ooh. Now, I will tell you this. The first time I played this game, I did actually tend to, what's the word I'm looking for? Abuse the hell out of the rock spell. And my reasoning for doing that was I just knew that it was more effective than the other spells that I had. In some cases, like, the interesting thing about the Earth spell in this game is it sometimes is actually the best spell for you. And yet at the same time, it doesn't always work very well against these enemies. In fact, Earth against Earth, you would think those enemies would be weak to it, but actually it does pretty decent damage from what I've discovered. So it's actually a pretty awesome thing. I don't think there's anything inside this house, but I'll show it off anyway. I want to see something. What does Earth do to this guy? 9 damage. So about the same that my wind does, actually. If all of them hit. Actually, that was only 7. Huh. Yeah, a lot of people say that if you start out building rock from the start, like nothing else besides rock, in some cases it can be like playing the game on easy mode. Oh, come on, I just saw one. Interestingly enough, if you're like near a house or something, you won't get into a fight. There it is. Haha. There we go. Now we can start doing wind again. At least that's what I'm planning on doing. Farther along this road is Dondran and the Carnor Forest. Don't get careless in the woods. A robber's about. And enemies that will whoop the shit out of you. In fact, the guide that I read says if you are going to play this game, whatever you do, don't go into the forest until you are able to take only like 1 damage from a lot of these enemies. In fact, yeah, that does 7 damage. I'm probably actually going to die from that. We can actually use one of these. Now, for the most case, all you have to do is run towards these guys to avoid the rock attack. It doesn't usually work, but that's what you're normally supposed to do. Or to stand right in front of them. They can't hit you in that case. Water level 2 is like one of the best attacks in the world. Let me tell you. So how are we doing on gaining... Okay, so our MP is about to go up. Our defense probably leveled up actually recently, because I think it was 4 before, and our agility is already leveled up twice. So there you go. I don't remember if there's anything over there. This bastard! If you can, you actually want to run away from these things. These things do a hell of a lot of damage to you. That thing can actually freeze you, and that attack is impossible to dodge. Huh. Yep, I'm frozen. It was that thing that killed me the first time I played this game. And I used to tell myself, just always run away. Alright, now what you want to do is you want to head this direction. I don't know. I'm having a hard time deciding if I really should, you know, edit out these fights because... like, I know they don't really take that long, so it's kind of like that kind of question here. And just in case I get a level up, I don't want to accidentally have to like come back in. Let me show you this real quick. Yeah. Not only would it not have done a very good amount of damage, I just wanted to see if it would work. Ah, I gotta level up anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna do it like I said. Alright, so this is our second town/castle of the game. It has some pretty good music for what it's worth. And that's what a lot of people say is amazing, is like, the music is surprisingly good, considering. I think this is where we can get our first item that heals our magic. Oh, what a handsome lad. Show us some magic and I'll give you something refreshing to drink. Here's a droplet of morning dew. There you go. That heals up your magic. There's always some fresh bread for you. Come again when you have run out. Say the robber is using an old fort in the forest as a stronghold. It's dangerous to set foot outside the city while he's about. You notice that he's drinking. That is actually a pretty interesting thing. I'm a clay digger, but I can't go into the woods because of the robber. What to do? Can't work. Now, the game never tells you what they're drinking, and if I had to guess, I would probably say it's alcohol, but you never know. You know how they feel about alcohol in games. You're the Melroad Magician's Apprentice, aren't you? Your quest is very difficult. I'll give you yellow wings. They ought to help. You must remember that wings will not work in the forest or caves. Yeah. Kind of bullshit, but what are you gonna do? And they tell you that for good reason, because we will be heading into a forest very soon. And so that is their reason for telling you that. Oh, and it's very easy to get lost in this town. But you actually want to come over here, because there's a spirit thing. Alright, we got restriction. So now we can start doing water again. That's how I usually do it, is once I discover that I got another thing, I move on to the next thing. I always found it funny that these two women are standing here, because it must be hot as balls in this area, because this looks like sand, you know? Even the king is worried about the robber. I heard he even sneaked into the castle. No one knows when the robber might come back again. I just hope he doesn't find our house. Father has hidden all of our valuable pottery just in case. Have you seen Princess Flora? There's another character you would have had in your team. She's a tomboy and is always getting into mischief. Exactly like the late queen when she was young. Bet she'll turn into a real beauty in no time. Now, how I learned all this stuff was actually research about the game, because I was curious. And a lot of the time they did say that you could tell exactly who the characters were going to be that would help you out, and the princess was actually one of them. And in fact, I think they changed her dialogue to where she actually does say something along the lines of like I wish I could go and help you, you know? And so that's like to be a nod at the fact that they were going to have multiple party members. Have you heard the news? A robber is living in Connor Forest. He's become so bold that he stole a precious treasure right out of the castle. It's unbelievable. That robber is a dickbag to fight, so you don't want to do it right now. Trust me. Welcome to Dondoran. You are the lad from Melroad Monastery, aren't you? King Scottford is waiting in the throne room. Now, as with every place, there are spirit things in here somewhere. The throne room is through these great doors. You have been cleared to pass. Please proceed. Why have you kept us waiting? We've had a serious robbery here, and the king has no time to waste. Be quick about it. Felsen's a jackass. I don't think he was gonna join you or anything, from what I know. So you are the master apprentice the Grand Abbot has written about. Welcome to Dondoran. I know you are searching for your father, Lord Bartholomew, who is missing on his quest for the Eltel book. I would like to help, but first I must take care of a most pressing matter. You may have heard of the brazen thief who stole the earth orb from my secret treasury. I sent my troops in pursuit, but they were helpless before the thief's black magic. He now blocks the road to Loch Kildree. If you are to continue your quest, the roads must once again be made safe. So you have to go and kill something that our guards couldn't even do. Remember this area back here, though. It's not open right now, but that is important for later. But we can come in here and rob these treasures. Fresh bread. And fresh bread. And a dewdrop. Now, I will tell you this. If you don't like dying in games, I don't blame you, because I don't like dying in games either. So, you know, when I made my statement about, like, people say that it's sometimes best to just die, I found it very hard to ever let myself die in this game, I'm not going to lie. But, like, they say that dying actually gives you a F-ton of defense points, which is interesting. Because the more damage an attack does, the more points it supposedly gives you towards defense. And that's why people suggest that you let people, like, let the enemies attack you and do as much damage as humanly possible. One of these double doors is actually important. I'm trying to remember which one it is. Aha! Here it is. Well, well, it's the Magician's Apprentice. This is Princess Flora's room. Should the king see a trespasser enter here, there will be an uproar. That's too bad. Hello, princess. You look hot. I'm just kidding. You enter unannounced? Your manners are worse than the thieves. But there's something about you. You're a magician, aren't you? Have you come to help us capture the thief? I wanted to go after him myself, but father forbade me to leave the castle. I command you to go into the forest, find the thief, and return our rightful possessions. If you have the courage, my father will reward you handsomely. So yeah, basically, that line about I was going to go out on my own or whatever, basically is a nod to the fact that she was going to be a party member. Because I remember seeing pictures of the party members, and I think she was one of them. Mint leaves, there's another interesting item. Mint leaves, they recover 20 MP. Dewdrops only recover 10. So, yeah. This is probably her dresser, but you can't open it, which is a shame. I mean, come on, all her other pretty dresses would probably be in there. You thought I was going to say something else, didn't you? Perverts. Oh, this is a library. I think they were also going to make it where you could read books, but surprisingly you can't. Which is very unfortunate. Besides, you know how much I love reading for you guys, for one thing. And, as well, I feel like they could have put more of the story into the game if they did that. But yeah, there's actually been people who say they wish that this company would come back. But the sad truth is that they were pretty much disbanded after the release of this game, sadly. Like, that's the unfortunate story. You startled me. I thought you might have been the thief coming back for more. We never suspected that one man could pose such a threat to our castle. But his magic was overpowering. The castle guards went after him, but they were no match. I am still nursing my wound. When fighting Solverine, try to avoid his close range attack. It does too much damage for such a small lad as yourself. Take that to heart. He is not kidding. That attack is what made me stop playing the game the first time I played it. That file's long gone, but yeah. Isn't there a spirit thing in here? Or maybe there was like, I think there was like saying that there was one and then like there wasn't. I don't remember. I do need to pull up that guide eventually. And if I did miss one, I would go off screen and get it for you and show you where it is. You know, as much as I love doing that. No, don't fret. It's not, you know how it is basically with my recording setup. It's just the reason why I don't like doing it is because it is kind of a pain to have to do that. What's over here? I know that there's a special room somewhere. No, it's not this one. It's not. Oh well. I'm sure I'll find out later when I look it up. I just love how he opens the door. Just slams it open with his staff. I guess I can't stop by the end. Well, let's go inside this random person's house first. This old man. Everyone talks about the robber in Connor Forest. It's frightening. He sneaked into their castle, tricked the guards, and stole a precious stone. The stone he took is called the Earth Orb. It was used a long time ago to restore calm when a great disaster befell Cletland. Thank you, old man. That was a great voice, by the way. You're welcome, young son. Ah, you're sweet. Pat myself on the back for that. It's nice to meet you again, Master Apprentice. I'm surprised you made it this far so quickly. I'm surprised as I didn't see your ass anywhere. Dad ass. I assume you've heard that a robber is hiding in the forest not far from here. He has blocked off the road to Loch Caldery. Just our luck. We're stuck here until the road opens again. Now, what's very interesting is if you do go to the door that she's talking about, it won't open. No matter what you do, it will not open until you defeat the guy that you have to defeat. It's a pain in the ass, because if you can't defeat him, you can't move on. And he is not easy. Of course, that should be no surprise, right? I always check the ends, even though sometimes there's nothing in them. I think there would have been more stuff inside these ends as well. That's another theory I like to believe. I think another thing I've heard, whoa. I've just arrived here in Dundonran from across Loch Caldery, but there's a robber in the woods and there's no way to get back. Poor Steve. But, I do remember, like another theory that they said the game would have been way too massive as well. Welcome to Dundonran, the town of pottery. Master Apprentice, what can we do for you? Won't you spend the night? Yes, I will. Don't accidentally save over my one save. There we go. But yeah, like one other thing I want to say about this game is just like, I'd love to just kind of think about stuff that could be added to games when you find out that they're unfinished. And a lot of the things that like I feel like they could have added to this game is they could have added, let's see, where can I go with this? They could have added like different ways to get around, but I know that would be really difficult, especially for N64 standards. Well, actually no, because you could have had a horse, because they have that in Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. But of course, that that may not have even crossed their mind. Look at that, we got agility up to level 9 already. God. But yeah, like, there's so many awesome things they could have added to this game, but I don't fault them at all. But yeah, like I was saying before, some people wish that the company was still in control and was still around so they could remake this game. Like, you can't even get it on the virtual channel anymore because there's nobody who knows the coding of it anymore, and so they wouldn't be able to recode it for that. But some people believe that if they were to make like a remastered version of it, so to speak, that they would have been able to add all the special things that they wanted to add before. Like, especially if you were to do it for the Wii U or the brand new Nintendo system that's supposed to be coming out soon. If you were to put it for either one of those systems, you could have a massive, massive game, you know? And it wouldn't take up much room at all. But no, sadly, it's just a dream for people. And I mean, you can't blame them. I mean, I've been guilty of that. I've been saying to myself, I was like, oh man, it'd be so nice to see this game remastered. But what are you gonna do, right? And I don't think they would be able to remaster it the way they wanted to anyway. now that I think about it, like they could probably port it exactly the way it is, and that would be annoying to some people, and that's probably why they haven't done it. But anyway, I will see you guys in the next episode. I might go do some off-screen fighting because we need to anyway. And so I'm thinking about going and doing that for a little while. And when I come back, we will, I'll have my guide up. This shows where the rest of the spirit things are, and if I missed any, that's where we'll be. Till then, everyone, bye.